Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elio, as some of you guys like to call me, and in today's video we have Boltwing. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, so we're starting off here with Dark Boltwing, who is a defender type coming in with 29k HP, 2.2k attack, and then 3.1k defense. Overall stats are fine. It is an at 4 that we can either get through donations, or if you want to be like me and just be a Fusion Andy because you have those mons sitting around already because you're an Astro Guide boy, then you can just fuse it. But stats, yep, they're perfectly fine. I mean, defender type, you would think that you would need to build him with crit, but let's take a look at his kit real quick before I go any further. So he has morale boost 10%, 100% chance to restore 10% of allies SP when attacking, and then sap 80% chance of 2 types of sap for 2 turns. Overall not bad. Very, very weird in my opinion because he gives SP to the whole entire squad, but he also does sap damage. So it's like, could I use this for golems B11? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be exactly optimal because 10% morale boost isn't really anything. I mean, it does add up over time, but it's not really anything. And with your 5-star skill being sap, that's really predominantly just used for the golem. I mean, you can use it if you're clearing out waves during it, but it's predominantly used for the golem, so it's kind of a waste. I mean, and he's a defender, so his attack is naturally going to be a little bit lower than an attacker type. So even if you try to build him a little bit more offensively, you could get more damage out of him, but I don't know, it's just a tad bit weird. I can't say that it's any worse than someone like Dark Pip, but at least Dark Pip has a higher chance for them to you know, actually get their 5-star skill off versus the 10% of the morale boost, not counting damage. But overall, I can't really say how useful this mon will be, at least in terms of golems B11, because even with books, I mean, we get a 20% damage boost from morale boost, and it also goes up to 15%, and then the damage goes up by 20% for the sap, and the sap goes to 90% chance for 2 turns. However, you know, is it worth keeping over the light one? Stay tuned to find out, but I can't really think of much use of him outside of golems B11, because other than that, you can just bring any sappers anywhere, even at B10, which is no longer the meta. And in terms of anywhere else in the story, I wouldn't really find that useful. Perhaps Colossus, but that's pretty much it. But let's go ahead and move on to the light one next. Alright, here we have the light one, who is made by fusing the dark one with a light Katyn, I believe. And the light one is a balance type coming in with 30k HP, 2.8k attack, and then 2.6k defense. Nat 4 stats are almost 3k. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. I can't complain too much. But anyways, the skills are Courageous Strike for the 3-star skill, and then Exposed Weakness, 80% chance for 2 turns for the 5-star skill. Now the AoE, well, the Exposed Weakness is AoE, which is nice to have. The 3-star skill is fine. It's just the 5-star skill, in my opinion, is very, very weird. Because, you know, Exposed Weakness mons usually are there to set up other mons to do more damage, not really set themselves up. But the only way that would be useful in terms of Titans for his 5-star skill would be if he was on the left side and not the right side, even though his Courageous Strike is a 3-star skill, and it's nice to have more light Courageous Strikers that are accessible by some degree. But very, very weird, just bizarre. So I would only put him on the left side pretty much. Again, you can use him in Colossus, like Dark Colossus, just like you can use Light Siegfried, but Light Siegfried is just a better choice in general because double Courageous Strike is way better than Courageous Strike and Exposed Weakness. This isn't bad, it's just awkward, but that's pretty much the only uses I can think of for this mon right here. And we can see with skill books that his Courageous Strike gets a 25% damage boost, pretty solid, and then Exposed Weakness gets a 20% damage boost and it goes to 90%. Once again, Exposed Weakness is just a move to set up other mons to do more damage. It doesn't really matter how much damage that does, especially as an AoE. Just overall a bizarre mon, but probably not that bad compared to the other ones. So let's go ahead and move on to the wood one next. Alright, next up we have Wood Boltwing, who is an attacker type coming in with 26k HP, 3.6k attack, and then 2.3k-ish defense. The attack stat is there. Obviously, it's a nat 4. HP's okay, acceptable, but attack stat is really phenomenal. Defense is kind of glassy, but Wood Boltwing is rocking double HP Siphon on both skills. So for the 3-star skill, it's purely for itself, where it can heal damage to itself, and then the 5-star skill is for everyone. So in theory, you could run this mon on something like attack defense, or if you're feeling froggy, maybe triple attack with crit rate subs. But with that defense stat being a little bit low, it could be a little bit risky depending on what content that you're doing, and the HP pool on it isn't that high. But let's go over here to skill books real quick before I go any further. So the skill books just increase the passive effectiveness of both of the HP siphons by 10%, and also boosts up their damage by 15%. It's an okay boost. I mean, nothing OP, but it's an okay boost, which is perfectly fine. But the main problem with Stormbeak isn't so much its stats, but just its skills in general. Like, this is the nat 4-ish version of Wood Valk, who's a balance type, and she has the same exact skills, but you can also build her tanky. It's just HP Siphon in this day and age. Obviously, if you're just trying to do B7 for the first time, this could be useful, but I can't really think of anywhere else where HP Siphon is necessary. The same thing goes for Wild Fang, for Fire Wild Fang in B9, where it's useful in the beginning when you don't have the DPS, but as soon as you get the DPS, this mon is just null and void in my opinion. Like, better than what it was before, but still not very useful. I mean, maybe if it had double hunter, it would be like, okay, I'll go ahead and give that to you, Stormbeak. But we already have Wood and New for that, so it's like, why make the same mons? You know, why be redundant? Even though that would be actually great. But yeah, just weird in my opinion. I can't really think of anywhere else to use this mon besides B7, or if you're a newer player beginning to farm out stuff. But again, would I tell you to farm out a Wood Evo 3 Wood Boltwing over a Evo 3 Wood and New? No. But let's go ahead and move on to the water one next. Alright, next up is Water Boltwing, who's a defender type coming in with 24k HP, 2.5k attack, and then 3.1, nearly 3.2k defense. Nat 4, HP is actually slightly bad, attack doesn't really matter, and then defense is okay. But I will say attack is actually okay as a defender type. It's just that HP is a little bit weak sauce. But Water Boltwing is double petrification, 100% chance for 1 turn, and then for the 5-star skill, 80% chance for 1 turn. If you guys don't know what petrification is, you probably haven't met Water Persephone yet. And petrification is very, very good as a stall tactic. Yes, you can use it to essentially CC mons, like I've mentioned in my skill explanation video of stun. I do have more of those on the way. It's just that reviews have been priority number 1. But you could use that to CC, but the only problem is that if you petrify a mon, they take like hardly any damage during petrification. So it's like a last ditch effort, and I feel like Water Purse is one of the mons that do petrification well, because especially if you're playing manually, you can always stall out that mon after everyone else has attacked and hopefully petrify them for another turn. But I mean, you could do the same thing here. It's just there's nothing that pairs up with this. I mean, stun is great because you can stun them on and still do normal damage to them. Shock is great because you can stun them on and do more damage to them. But this just is essentially stunning them and doing no damage at all. It's just stalling, basically. But its main uses would of course be in a PvP situation or clan versus clan. I've also seen this done in PvP earlier in the my MSL career. I want to say maybe like a year or two ago. Like, I see these guys around now and it's just like, bye. But I mean, before it was kind of not, I wouldn't say bad, but it was kind of working. But I don't know, now I feel like it's not that great. Not that great. Even with skill books, you do get a hefty boost in damage, 25% damage increase for both skills, and then the petrification goes to 2 turns, and then for the 5-star skill we get a 20% chance activation rate being raised to that. Not a 20% chance, it is 20% raised to it, so it goes to 100% for 1 turn. But even with that, I mean, once again, unless you know what you're doing with petrification and you plan to be like a manual Andy, I just don't find any use for this mon. I'm not saying that it's bad because I've been known to be a little bit harsh with the Boltwings. I just find it very, very niche, and that could be an issue unless you're creative enough. But let's go ahead and move on to the last one, which is the Fire. Alright, we have Fire Boltwing, who's an attacker type coming in with 25k HP, 3.3k attack, and then 2.1k defense. This dude is a glass cannon, boys. Glass cannon. HP is acceptable as an attacker type. Attack is over 3k, which is brilliant. Defense is 2.1k Andy. If you sneeze on this dude, he's going to get wrecked. Not the worst defense in the world, but it is pretty low. And this mon comes in with defense down, 70% chance for 2 turns, and then attack down, 70% chance for 2 turns as well. I believe this is very, very comparable to like Neza, who I think has attack down first, and then defense down after 5-star skill. And then also Fire Odin, which I think has the same kit as this, but obviously not 5 stats. The issue with this mon here, let me go over here to the skill books real quick though, right before I get to the issue. So 20% damage boost for the 3-star skill, and then that goes up to 90%. And then for the 5-star skill, that's a 20% damage boost for the attack down, and that also goes up to 90% for 2 turns. That's fine. But boys, the problem with this mon right here is that he has a debuffers kit, but attacker stats. Dude has 2.1k defense. Dude has 25k HP. Attack is fine, but you would essentially need to waste your gems of HP defense, or HP defense just to boost up his lack of stats to even make him on par to something else. And even then, because both of his skills change, and he's not just a defense down mon or attack down mon, you also run the risk of bad RNG in Titans if you were to use them, where it's just not going to land, or what you want to land doesn't land because his SP is full and he does attack down versus defense down. There are a slew of issues with this mon. A debuffer kit with attacker type stats is bad news bears, which in my opinion makes him very, very frail, even if you do decide to run him as like an attacker, like what he is. But the problem is that if you run him as an attacker as to what he is, he doesn't have the skills to back it up because he's just a debuffer. So very, very, Boltwings in general are just very, very bizarre. This one is probably my least favorite though, because his stats are there, but the skill set that they gave him just isn't there. Now I could be wrong. This is 100% unlicensed advice, boys. 100% unlicensed, but this is just one man's opinion. But if I had to rate anything in order, I would say that Light Boltwing, at least in a Titan scenario, would actually be useful. Wood Boltwing, if you're just beginning the game, though I would say go for Wood anew instead. Dark, there's not really much to say, man. I would just say Light, in my opinion, is probably the best. Water does have some uses if you're creative enough. Dark could be used as well, and then Wood, and then Fire. Fire is by far just the least useful because I wouldn't even know what to recommend this mon at. Yeah, you could bring it into B9, but he would need to at least be Evo 3 for him to be usable, which is the issue here because Evo 2 Boltwing at level 60 has 1.7k defense and 20k HP. 1.7k defense. If you look at him, he's going to die. That is a big issue right here. So I can't really advocate where to use this mon at. Even client versus client or PvP, if you like him, then go ahead and use him in PvE. I don't know why you would, but yeah, that's not very useful mon in my opinion. Just awkwardly built, but what can you do, man? Nothing. But that's pretty much it for the Boltwings, my boys and my ladies. If you guys have any other mon requests, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try to get that video out for you guys pretty soon here. And if you haven't already, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with 2 ending words for this video. Subscribe. Peace out.